Hi Rev, so here we are getting right into this Lent season together, and this week's focus is on corporate prayer and family dynamics, which is one of the images that Mike uses in his book The Prayers of Many. And I guess maybe a really helpful thing to start with is to just imagine that actually coming together to pray is gathering together as sons and daughters around our Father, who loves us and who has adopted us and who welcomes us into his presence and who knows us by name and who values us so much so that every hair on our head is numbered. So from that perspective, it's really important to understand that even though prayer involves labour and warfare and all those kinds of things, actually right at the heart of it is that it's a family affair. It's us gathering to our Father, to our Abba Father, the one who we know we are in his hand, and nobody can snatch us out of his hand, and nothing in all of creation can separate us from his love, which is in Christ Jesus. So it's really a wonderful backdrop for us to have in our minds as we think about praying together. And again, whether it is a big prayer event, still that it maintains that sense of family feel right through to gospel communities and running partners, which obviously feel naturally feel more of a family kind of idea. But that whether something even is an event, that it has a family atmosphere to it, as we recognise we are brothers and sisters and sons and daughters of the living God together. There's also some other kind of family dynamics that can help us thinking about prayer. One is the idea of pregnancy. That someone who is pregnant, there is anticipation about what is about to be birthed. And Paul says to the Galatians, I'm in labour pains until Christ is fully formed in you. He's living with a sense of he's like a woman. He likens himself to a woman in labour. He wants to see birthed the full expression of Christ's maturity. Think about Abraham and Sarah. Obviously, she was physically pregnant for 9 months, but they together were spiritually pregnant for years and years and years before she ever became physically pregnant. And we as a people, we're pregnant. We're pregnant with God's promises. He's promised us so many things. In these days, he will pour out his Spirit on us. That he will build his church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it, that as we abide in him we will bear much fruit, that he came to destroy the works of the devil. It's just a handful to get us started. If that doesn't get us praying, I don't know what will, because there's a sense of expectation, and we're living with these promises in our souls, which is a wonderful thing. It's very, very powerful. And then while we're thinking about little ones, also thinking about our prayer lives, and from an intergenerational perspective, in Joshua chapter 4, verse 6, it says, when your children ask in time to come, what do these stones mean to you? Then you shall tell them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. So there's a sense in which we are to draw the younger ones among us into the sense of who God is, what God has done, who we are in him, what he's promised us. So again, there's that intergenerational sense. And again, it may be that you have your own children to do that with, but it may be that it's about coming alongside younger brothers and sisters in the Lord. Not being timid and not saying, oh no, I've got nothing to offer, but no, encouraging younger brothers and sisters in the Lord, having an eye out for those who are new to the faith, having an eye out for those who are struggling in the faith, having an eye out for those who have not been following the Lord anywhere near as long as you have. It's ever so important that we can encourage one another. So there's a sense of mums and dads in the Lord, older brothers and sisters in the Lord, aunties and uncles in the Lord, but then also that we cultivate relationships with those who are further ahead than us in the Lord, and that we look to encourage them, and that we look to honour them, and we invest in our relationships with them, and we don't fall into that mindset of, they won't want to see me, or I'll be a nuisance, or I'll get in the way. No. It's a delight for any spiritual parent to see sons and daughters in the Lord. So let's have that family framework as we think about praying together and enjoy the presence of the Lord together, young, old, and everything in between.